I've never been one to believe in ghosts. In fact, I don't believe in anything supernatural. No gods, no afterlife, no spirits watching from the beyond. I'm an atheist through and through, and I've always thought that if something seems unexplainable, it's only because we haven't figured it out yet. To me, the idea of paranormal is just another placeholder for what science hasn't caught up with. But there's one memory buried deep in my childhood that I've never been able to shake. And despite every rational attempt to explain it away, a part of me still feels unsettled. It happened when I was around 10 years old. I remember it with crystal clarity, like a scar on the surface of my mind that never quite faded. It all started when my parents finally gave in and got me a pet rabbit. I had been begging them for months, maybe longer. I don't know what it was about rabbits that fascinated me so much. Maybe the softness, the stillness in the eyes, the way they twitched their noses, like they were constantly deciphering the world. When we picked him out at the pet store, I was beaming. He was small, snowy white, with grey ears, and I named him Benny. The store clerk was gentle but firm with us. "Give him space," she said. "Rabbits don't handle stress well. Moving into a new home is overwhelming. Don't crowd him. Let him adjust for a few days." I tried. I really did. But the very next day, we were invited to a family barbecue at a friend's place, and I insisted on bringing Benny with us. My parents, probably trying to keep me happy, agreed. I packed up his cage, his little dish of pellets, and we set off. At the barbecue, the grass was green and warm beneath the sun. I opened the cage more than once to let him hop around. I remember laughing as he sniffed at leaves and nibbled in the grass. I told myself I wasn't stressing him out, just giving him freedom. I didn't want to scare him. I wanted him to like me. That night, back at home, everything seemed normal. He ate. He groomed himself. I left the cage open and let him sleep beside me, tucked into the bed just like a stuffed animal. He lay near my chest, warm and still, while I drifted off. My TV was on, as it always was, casting a soft bluish glow over the room. I was scared of the dark back then, and the light made me feel safer. What happened next is something I've never fully understood. Around 3 a.m. I woke up. No nightmare, no noise, just awake, which was rare for me. I remember blinking the TV light, disoriented but calm. I turned my head slightly and saw Benny sitting exactly where I remembered placing him before I fell asleep. Right at chest level, nestled into the blanket. I smiled, comfort to see him there. I reached out to gently pet him, but my hand passed through him. Not brushed, not missed, passed through, like he wasn't there at all. I froze confused. Then suddenly Benny was gone. Except no, he wasn't. He reappeared a few inches to the right, still sitting, still watching. I reached again. My fingers cut through empty air. He vanished again, this time a little further to the right. The third time, the same thing happened. And then he was just gone. Gone. I was wide awake now. My heart had started to pound, not with fear exactly, but with confusion. A thick, eerie silence filled the room, broken only by the low hum of the TV. The light flickered against the walls, casting long, restless shadows that seemed to stretch and crawl. I sat up slowly, eyes scanning the bed, trying to make sense of what had just happened. He was right there. I'd seen him 3 times, each time slipping away like smoke, like something trying to stay just a moment longer and failing. I threw the blanket back in a panic and began to search. My hands swept across the sheets. Nothing. Then, near my feet, something soft. I froze. Lifting the blanket with trembling fingers, I saw him lying there, still, too still. His body was curled slightly, his ears limp, his eyes half open in that strange, unsettling way that only the dead seemed to manage. For a moment, I couldn't move. I couldn't even cry. I just stared at him, my mind refusing to accept what my eyes already knew. Then, like a floodgate bursting, the tears came. I ran to my parents' room, sobbing, trying to explain what had happened. I told my mom everything, the vision, the hand that passed through, how he faded away. She hugged me, half asleep, whispered that it must have been a dream, but I knew better. The room was lit, the TV was on. I wasn't dreaming. For years I tried to explain it away. Maybe my brain was in that strange half-sleep state, slipping between wakefulness and dreams. Maybe it was grief playing tricks on a young mind. Maybe it was guilt that I hadn't let him rest, that I dragged him around too much, loved him too hard too soon. But deep down, it felt like something else. It felt like he came to say goodbye. Just for a moment, his little spirit lingering near me before slipping away for good. A flicker of presence. A final, silent thank you. And that was it. The only experience in my life that has ever made me wonder, what if, even now, after all these years, after I've grown, and reason has become my compass, that night remains untouched by logic, a quiet mystery, a whisper from the past. Have you ever experienced something you can't explain? Share your story in the comments. Real or surreal, we want to hear it. Sometimes the truth hides in the quiet moments we try to forget. Subscribe for more real-life mysteries. And remember, some goodbyes aren't meant to be explained.